Alright guys, so today is currently August 13th, 2024. It's currently 9:21 a.m. my time, and this morning I took 2 trades and it resulted in 2 losses, which really sucks. I'll go over why I took these trades first, and then I'll talk about why I thought I lost. Well, there's actually a couple of reasons why I thought I lost. But basically, let's go over the first trade. So these are the 2 losses that we took. You can see on the bottom over there, we're currently down like a little over 1% on the day. But basically, at this point, we mark the 9 a.m. high, 9 a.m. low, and I'm looking for price to continue lower to sweep these areas of liquidity, right? However, we also get SMTs that contradict this bias, and I honestly don't know why I didn't follow it. So here, this is SPX 500, SMT going down, NAS 100, SMTs going up. So at this point, it should have been like a confluence in terms of price not continuing lower, but I honestly was kind of blinded to it. And on top of that, we also rejected all of these fair value gaps, which was holding. So yeah, basically what I saw during the time was right here. Like this is where I entered, this line right here. We swept the 9 a.m. high, and then we started to make a strong push downward, right? But we never actually closed below this swing low, and therefore it wasn't a solid break of structure. There was basically no displacement. So at the time, price moved all the way down here. I immediately set my limit order, and once we got entered in, that's when, you know, price continued the other way, and we eventually got stopped out. It was a really fast trade. So that was the first one. 2 things here already that I didn't do well. Like I clearly didn't follow my strategy. We have SMTs contradicting the move. On top of that, we're rejecting off fair value gaps. So at this point, we already lost the first trade. But as time goes on, we're currently generating sell side, which led me to believe that price could still potentially continue lower. So eventually we come back lower, fair value gap holds, we come back higher, and then we get this strong push down as well. And again, this leg never broke structure. So, I mean, it went down all the way here, but we never closed below the swing low. That's when I set my limit order over here. And honestly, in hindsight, I should have just canceled it because this wasn't a true break of structure. But I did put the entry at a fair value gap right here, and I was targeting the 9 a.m. lows, and my stop was up over here. So this clearly resulted in a loss. The break of structure is one of the key things that I did not follow here, which I definitely should have. We never even broke past this fair value gap. Like if we got displacement lower, broke past the fair value gap, and then retraced, then that would have been a better entry, but that never happened, right? The fair value gap held, we never broke structure, we just continued higher. And honestly, in hindsight, this was accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So at this point, when I saw this over here, accumulation, manipulation, and I saw price continue higher, that's when I completely lost confidence in this trade. Yeah, I mean, I just watched price stop me out, which really sucks. Man. And honestly, like, I think I know there's definitely an emotional aspect to taking these losses, and I'll go over that right now. So basically, last week I had a phenomenal week, right? Like it was pretty good. And last Sunday, when the market started to open, I started getting this feeling of like, I feel a loss coming, right? And I was starting to hesitate. And that hesitation made me miss out on 3 trades that I could have definitely made a profit on. But because I hesitated, I closed the limit orders and price ran off without me. And I hesitated because I had a fear of losing, which honestly like really impacted me mentally. I started journaling and writing down my thoughts like, yo, you have a decent risk. Over the long run, your edge will play out, and you just have to put faith in your strategy and, you know, just execute, follow your plan. I basically missed out on 3 trades that could have been winners. And then when I took this trade, the first loss, I was honestly very relieved, right? Like I was glad that I got the loss out of the way. And once I it's not like I haven't lost before, but after going on such a winning streak, I just felt like very emotionally fearful of losing, and it really impacted my trading. And then when I saw this opportunity, I wasn't even following my strategy. Like, this was really bad. So moving forward, I will be very, very selective with my trades. Like, these were honestly losses that I easily could have avoided, but my emotions got the best of me. So yeah, I mean, anyways, that'll be all for now. I'll catch you guys in the next trade. Alright guys, so today is currently August 15th, 2024, and this morning I took a trade which unfortunately resulted in a $48.79 loss. So as you can see, we took 3 trades this week and we lost all 3, which really sucks, but you know what? Because I had proper risk management, we didn't lose too bad, right? On the week, we're currently down like roughly 1.5%, like a little bit more than that. I'm just gonna quickly go over why I took this trade. So basically on the 1 minute time frame, so this was the 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. silver bullet session, and when price was at this area, I was looking for price to sweep the 2 a.m. low and continue higher. But as you can see, we ended up slowly continuing higher. We took out the buy side and swept the 2 a.m. high, and then we continued lower. So I took my entry right over here. Price went down, went into my entry, and then continued higher to my stop loss. I actually read this wrong. I thought this was a fair value gap, and you know, looking closer at it, it actually wasn't. That really sucked. But basically, price swept the 2 a.m. high. We made a swing low. Price displaced lower. I thought this was a fair value gap, and when I took the entry, or I set a limit order here, and it went straight to my stop loss. So the reason why I took a sell order here was because we were generating lots of sell side liquidity. Sell side, sell side, sell side, sell side. And we have a equal low right here, which also happens to be the 2 a.m. low. So I was looking for price to continue lower. And as you can see, we got stopped out, but eventually price did actually continue lower, and this really sucks. This really sucked. I should have been more aware of the candlesticks. This was clearly not a fair value gap, but I set a limit order here, and the RR was 5.11, which honestly isn't too bad, but I should have waited. I think this trade was okay. It was okay. We had the idea was there, we just didn't execute it that great. Another thing that I did realize was that my stop loss was placed at relative equal highs over here, and when price was down here, or like consolidating right here, this was in my mind, like this was in the back of my head that like, relative equal highs are right here. Should I move the stop loss all the way up here? I was already in the trade, and I didn't want to take partials because that would have resulted in a loss. And if I did move the stop loss, that would have made the loss even higher. Even though the risk to reward would have still been okay, I usually risk only around like $50, like, or 60. But even so, if I did place it up here, I still would have gotten stopped out. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Some things I definitely could have done better was definitely been more patient in terms of, like, because I took 2 losses, I kind of just, there's a little part of me that wanted to just take a trade. Like, this was clearly not a fair value gap, but I set a limit order here anyways because I was looking so closely at the swing low being displaced. And then, you know, I set a limit order, and then price retraced higher, stopped me out, and then continued lower. Very unfortunate, but you know what? I'm not too bummed out about it as I would have been if I didn't use proper risk management, right? So overall, I thought this trade was okay. The idea was there. Definitely could have been executed better, but even like looking at this, I don't think I would have even gone an entry because I would have like set my limit at some fair value gap formed up here, and I doubt I would have gotten tagged. So yeah, I mean, that'll be all for now. I'll catch you guys in the next trade. Alright guys, so it's currently August 16th, 2024. It's a Friday, and I did end up taking a trade this morning. So I'm just going to go over that right now. So basically, I marked out all the daily fair value gaps. As you can see right here, we have the 15-minute order block and another fair value gap on the 15-minute right over here. I marked out the 9 a.m. high, which is right here, and the 9 a.m. low, as well as all the sell side liquidity. So let's just move to the 1 minute and I'll show you guys the whole thought process. So we have the equilibrium area that's right over here. And I was honestly looking for price to continue lower down to this daily fair value gap right over here. So basically when the 10 a.m. session started, I was just waiting for price to sweep either the high or the low. And once we did sweep the 9 a.m. high, we went into equilibrium and into the 1 hour fair value gap. So at this point, I'm looking for price to continue lower because we have a bunch of generated sell side liquidity sitting right here that I'm looking for price to sweep. We made a swing low, another swing low, and eventually we did get a strong displacement lower. This was the displacement that I took the short off of. So basically there was a fair value gap right over here in this area. I placed the limit order at the top of the fair value gap because that's just a personal preference. Some people place it like at the bottom right here, but I usually get a better entry when I place it at the top. Once price retraced to this area, we got entered into the trade and continued lower fairly quickly. I was targeting the 9 a.m. low and the risk to reward was a 3.55. On this trade, I actually took it on my live account without knowing. Basically, I placed the trade and then I looked at the trade history, right? And I noticed there was a $65 win and I was just like, I don't remember winning this week. And then I look at the balance and I realize, oh shit, this is my live account. But as you can see here, we took a $54.80 loss. It's at the bottom right here. So after trading the phase 1 10K accounts for a while, I've gotten used to seeing negative 50s. So it's not too, like it's not great, but it didn't really affect me that much, right? And another reason was I did follow my plan. I went into this trade knowing how much I'd lose, and I'm completely fine with the outcome. Obviously, it gave me a bit of false hope when price displays a lot lower here, but it is what it is. So yeah, we literally displaced all the way lower. At one point, I was up like 133 USD, which honestly is quite a bit for me, but it is what it is. All right, I had a lot of chances to close early, but I wasn't really in it for the money. I was in it just to execute the trade, right? And honestly, once it hit the 2R mark, I should have reduced my risk to a break even, but unfortunately I did not. Price actually retraced really quickly, right? And I didn't want to just get stopped out, but in hindsight I definitely should have managed my risk a little bit better. But also, I was willing to lose 50 bucks. At this point, I did believe price was generating more sell side. At this point, I did think that price was generating more sell side, so I decided to just hold on to this trade. And as you can see, we just continued higher. It is unfortunate, but I thought the overall execution of this trade was not bad. I didn't feel rushed into it. I waited for a clear setup and I took it. I guess I should have looked at this more. But on the 15-minute, we already came down all the way lower, right? So in hindsight, I guess there wasn't really much reason for price to continue lower. I mean, there was a daily fair value gap that never got tapped into, but we did end up respecting the 1 hour fair value gap that was right over here. So that was the sell side of the curve. I honestly probably should have seen this coming in terms of we did break structure to continue higher, right? I guess there is also a 1 hour fair value gap that kind of did get disrespected. So it had some confluence to taking a short, but unfortunately, it just continued higher. It is what it is. It does suck that we did end the week on a loss. I think overall, the start of the week was pretty rough, but it definitely got a lot better. Even though we didn't end up in a profit, I did stick to my rules a lot more. And yeah, the trades definitely felt better. It is what it is, guys. So that'll be all for now. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. I forgot that today is Friday and it's the end of the trading week. So yeah, I mean, I guess that'll be all for this video. Just some things I wanted to go over. Yeah, so basically the start of this week I was hesitating a lot in terms of taking a trade. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was doing pretty good last week. I think we took like a few losses, but the wins definitely outweighed the losses. And every time I'm on that like winner's high, I always end up taking like a massive loss after that. I think it's like low-key PTSD from when I first started trading last year, and I completely blew like 2 live accounts. I blew like 3 live accounts. It was pretty bad, right? So I think that's like a reason why. Like I said, every time I'm on the winner's high, I end up taking a massive loss. And it really affected me this time. There were 3 trades that I hesitated on taking at the beginning of the week, and they all resulted in wins. And of course, the trade I decide to pull the trigger on, it results in a loss, but you know what? It is what it is. But that trade resulted in 2 losses. I decided to chase price, and honestly, I didn't follow my strategy to a T, and it really sucked. My mental was really affected. Like even before taking those trades, I really tried to fix my psychology. I literally journaled my thoughts, and I tried to just write down the reasons why I shouldn't be fearful in terms of taking this trade. And I literally just kept saying to myself like, yo, you have a positive risk to reward, and the maximum you could lose is like $50. And no matter how many times I said that to myself, I was still affected mentally, right? And I think it was because I was so focused on the money, even though it is like fake money. It's a phase 1 account. Just the outcome. I was focused on the outcome, right? And I wasn't focused on the process. Although like I was trying to be, but clearly I was just chasing the money in terms of like chasing the outcome. But it definitely got a lot better as the week went by. Like what really helped me was actually like just listening to some Queen. Like they're an old band, but like I don't know why it just like stumbled on my Spotify playlist, and I just started playing it. I was just jamming to that. It made me feel calm while looking at price action. It really helped me just wait for the perfect setup. Even though I did ended up taking losses for the rest of the trades for this week, it was okay because I followed my strategy. I went into the trade risking what I was willing to lose. And, you know, taking losses is all a part of trading, right? As long as you win more than you lose, then you're basically golden. So that was like one thing that helped me. And another thing is just pulling the trigger on taking a trade. I was hesitating quite a bit, but you know, I just had to really get used to setting the orders again. I know it sounds weird because like this whole time I'm literally trading, placing orders, but dude, something like really just blocked me mentally. And 100% it's because after going on a winning streak, I take massive losses. But that was then, right? I've grown more now in terms of I have a stop loss, so I won't get liquidated. But also like the other part is like, this is also a demo account, right? Or like a phase 1 account. Versus last time, this live account, no stop loss, completely got liquidated. Lesson learned. But yeah, going back to my point, just setting the trades, taking them, you know, just getting back into the groove. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. This week is definitely one of the more interesting weeks in my trading journey. All right, and if you made it this far, I really appreciate you guys for watching. And as always, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. And also, there's a free Discord community. Link is in the description below. I look forward to seeing you guys there. And yeah, I mean, for those of you guys who are on the same journey as me, just remember, stick to your plan and, you know, focus on the process, not on the money. The money will come. So, and also taking losses is part of the game. So yeah, I mean, that'll be all for now. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.